Did you ever hear that recording?
I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, those outhouses, yeah.
Well,
One came out of one outhouse.
Well, no, he went to, well, mainly went to a football game.
Game.
He didn't understand what was going on.
Right, I remember
Yeah.
that. But that's what he called one of them. He said, one of them came out of one outhouse.
Oh, that wasn't the outhouse.
One out, yeah, the other outhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Andy, that's how he got started with that skit, doing it at nightclubs, I guess. Well,
Shannon's been very interested in the athletics in the mountains. That's a special interest of
Well,
his.
you know, there were all those little schools in eastern Kentucky where these people practiced on dirt and everything.
Yeah.
They said, you know, once they got on a maple floor, they could really roll.
What to do. Also, you know, when I would go back up the creek, everything was wheel and click, you know, they ran those things. You know, they were just round and they had
Oh,
a
yeah.
stick of wood and push those things and run down through mud holes. And
You
so
know,
on.
I thought for years that I would patent that and get some toy manufacturer to do it, but I had so much fun. It was a hook off of a wagon hub,
Right.
and then you made your own guide.
Yeah, a little
We called it
paddle-like.
a guide and wheel. Well, actually, we used a piece of wire in North Carolina, a long,
kinda
stiff piece of wire,
Okay.
and you'd ride those over. You know, somebody in Berea did that a few years ago and tried to sell it. I think he went broke. But you think of hula hoops and all of that. I thought at a time, if you could introduce a whole new generation to that, you'd
Yeah.
have every kid in the country with one of those.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I'd take it to church and everywhere.
yeah, everybody, you know, just like kids running little cars.
You know what we're talking about?
No, I don't think I've seen him.
You take it was an iron rim off of a wagon, off the hub of the wagon,
Yeah.
you know, that held the wood together. And then you made yourself, I guess you could do it with a paddle, a wooden paddle. We did a little piece of stiff wire, make you a handle down here, and then make a little U-shaped thing. And you could hook that in it then and get it started. And then you put it right behind it and you just rolled it and guided it. You could send it all over the country, you know, without ever stopping it. And it was just a wonderful little toy.
And you ran, you got your exercise. I mean, you know, you just run it down the road. You think of it as a car, you know, or something, just wagon running over here, run over there and down in the
It's
trenches.
just an iron hook going along in front of this
Pushing.
guide you had.
For some reason, they called it wheel and click or click and wheel.
I've heard of click and wheel. We called it a guide and wheel.
Okay.
Guide and wheel. You know, guide
Yeah.
and wheel.
Yeah. Now I've seen pictures of, and when I was a kid, we used to take a stick and a hoop and roll it, but it didn't have any kind of a guiding thing. I mean, it would get away from you and roll off in the weeds somewhere, you know.
Well, this way you could go around curves, you know, lean it and do figure eights. You could do anything with it.
Oh, yeah.
You get good at it like a yo-yo.
That's
you know,
right.
do
That's
anything.
right. My cousin, I wasn't very good at it because I didn't do it much, but my cousins.
What do you got?
Well, I was thinking about the blind man.
Oh yeah,
I mean, not the blind man, Wild Bill Jones.
yeah, the Wild Bill. Now you play that.
I played that up there, and I always liked it, and I heard Dad play it one time, but I don't
play that in that E minor. Is that what you
but I don't ever remember him recording it. I don't think it's one of his recordings, and I always wondered why. I was trying to see if I had it written down here, but I don't even think I do, but,
Walking down the street.
Looks like you put a lot of work into putting that.
Dad did this,
He
and I
did?
tell you who typed them was Karen. She did this.
Karen who?
Collins.
Collins.
Colin.
She made this, she made her one and made one for Dad. And I would never had it. I just, after he died, Jenny gave me this.
Oh yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
great. How is
And
Jenny? Is she?
She's fine.
I heard from her less than a year ago.
Well, we've been writing quite often lately because one thing, she wanted to, for me to have the copyright to Dad's book, Faith is a Victory.
Yeah.
And so we did get that done. And
Is it still in print?
no, it's not. And I'm trying to find a printer for it now.
Did Erdman's do that last?
Tyndale did it last.
Tyndale.
But
Erdman's might do it.
they might, they will do it, you know, if you want to cough up the money, yeah.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that. I didn't know.
But, you know, they don't, I guess after so long, they don't feel like it. It's, am I running your film? If you are,
No,
can you know whether you kept?
Which one are you trying to find now?
I'm trying to find Wild Bill Jones.
Oh, Wild Bill Jones. Yeah.
I think I know it all right, but I just, I hate to.
Another one I'd like to hear at some point, Roll On John.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
I don't know
we'll
what
get
the tunings are here for these.
Roll on, John. Still, some way, when you know you're being watched, you're intimidated,
Oh.
you know, you.
And I was just sitting here admiring how you can, you know, sometimes without an audience reaction, sometimes too, it's hard to gauge. Well, are they liking it? Are they not liking it? Believe me, we're liking it.
He's cool as the center seed of a cucumber.
No, you know your mistakes, and Dad was the worst, though, wasn't he? you know, he would come, he'd just be shaking his head. I said, well, I missed that word. You know, I missed plenty right here today in notes too.
For a Calvinist, he suffered a lot.
Oh, he did, yes, that's exactly right. And I would say, well, Dad, nobody heard. Oh, he would flog himself for the rest of the day.
He's a perfectionist.
Yeah, he was then, and so.
And yet he would talk so much about, you know, in comparison to God, we can't ever be very much. You know, whatever we do is going to be pretty insignificant.
Yeah, we totally nothing. That's his theology. But you all will have to tell me now, the time was when you really.
Well, we take you lunch in a little while. See what
I went walking down the street one day. I met that wild Bill Jones. He was walking and a-talking with that girl of mine. I bid him to leave her alone. He said his age was 22, too old to be controlled. I drew my revolver from my side. I killed that poor gambler's soul. He's had an anti-reel and he fell to the ground. And he gave one dying groan. I threw my arms around my lily girl's neck. I said, honey, you're left alone. If I had learned what my mama said, I'd have been at home tonight. Instead of being here in this old jail. Instead of wearing my life away. I wrote me a letter to my lily girl's house, and she answered the very next mail. She said to me, a $10 bill. Said, honey, I'll call your bail. Won't you pass around that jug of mine? Let's all get on a spree. Today was the last of Wild Bill Jones. Tomorrow be the last of me.
That's nice.
You know anything about the history behind that song, or your dad never
No, sir.
talked about?
You know, it was late, or I guess when I started playing the banjo, that I became interested in that, because I never had heard him play it for some way, or either as a boy I heard him and it just sailed in one ear and out the other, because I thought it was one of the prettiest ones. I mean, I just, you know how you like a song, you just grab a hold of it, and I said, well, Dad, he said, well, son, I've sung that for years, but maybe it just didn't register.
Is that got a black connection? I think of it as being a black song, but.
As far as I know, no one's really traced the history of it. That's why I was kind of wondering. I have just this feeling. I got a feeling we're going to get a good shot of the ceiling here. I have a feeling that that may have Kentucky origins.
Who else sings that, do you know?
Can't think of it off the top of my head, but I mean, it's well known in tradition.
Sparky Rucker again. Somehow I have a feeling he'd know somebody.
Yeah.
Why don't you sing the Orphan Girl for us? Are you up to that?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Have you ever heard of that being sung at churches?
No.
I have heard that it was sung in the early days in some churches because of its sort of moral message.
Right, right.
Have you ever heard of the gay lady, Lady Gay, being sung in churches?
No, but I've often, you know, even my kids, because there's a line in there, it was about old Christmas time.
Yeah.
And they'll ask me, you know, sing that around Christmas. You know, but they were little. You know, they say, Dad, sing that one. You know,
Sing that Christmas
Christmas
song.
time about old Christmas time. So I sing Lady Gay. Yeah, that's, but,
That's interesting.
yeah.
I see you got a crow out there.
Oh, we've got crows, we've got everything. Laura, I was gonna hand it to read to you. You know, I told you one time, I don't know whether you'd even be interested, but Dad wrote about several pages on how to play the banjo the way he does. And
Yeah.
I don't know whether you ever had a copy of that, but
No,
We'd heard about it, but
I don't think we do. My memory's so bad, Phil. I can't, and I've been on so many projects and talked to so many people. It's hard for me to remember what I've done and what I haven't done.
I know.
And part of the problem in a place like, you know, I've been there 25 years. We tend to retire our files, so I can't just run over here, you know, and look it up. I mean, not retire. They're there to, if you can get at them, if you can remember what year it was we were talking about. But
do you have a copy of that?
Yeah.
Here, I would love to see that
Yeah.
sometime. Or how many pages is it?
it's just, I think there's about 5 or 6 pages.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that he ever completed it. And,
well, you know, that might be something we
I'd like
might
to make a
just
Xerox of it or something.
well, it occurs to
sure,
me that we
no,
might-
you can Xerox, you know, things like that I have of Dad's that I can share. Dad was a little more sensitive even than I was, or am. I mean, you know, I guess if you're a performer and you get into who tapes what and so on, I know he used to get a little sensitive about that because I don't know whether he thought people would go, but anything that I have, I don't know any place that I'd rather be in the archives at Berea College. I mean, they have to do
Well,
with
that's-
Dad and
that's nice.
you
I
know,
feel
I
that.
mean, if there's anything that you even know that I can share or,
Do you
know,
have I was thinking it'd be nice to have a copy of this.
Of all of that?
But I don't know whether you don't have a Kinko's in town, do you?
Well,
One of those copier places.
no, but I can, I mean, we've got a copier at the church and, you know, it's not a fast thing, but I mean, I'll be glad to fix up.
Well, we'd be glad to pay for the
it's,
cost
oh,
of
there's
things like
no
that.
problem, like I say, there's.
It'd be nice to have that in as his sort of repertoire with it. And the banjo piece.
Just to dwell on that for a second, do you think your dad ever had any cause to be upset about maybe being taken advantage of or exploited by? I know a lot of people have felt that record companies, and I guess that they did sometimes, would put out the records and then not pay very much in the way of royalties, and so people felt exploited. But did he have any reason in particular to worry about that?
You know, he didn't tell me, Steve, if he did. you know, just a couple times I would be with him someplace, and I don't know whether maybe he thought, you know, he would read books like this, but of course, you know, these songs are out there and anybody can just lay hold of them, you know, and they're not, and I would even encourage him. I'd say, well, Dad, you know, I wouldn't worry about that. No, I don't know. He was just a little protective about that. There may have been an incident, you know. But,
Well, I was reading last night in the notes to the record, he, you know, the fellow there in the music store in Ashland who said they love you in New York, and then they went off to New York for him to record, and they paid him, I believe, $40 a side or a record. Anyhow, he got paid about $300 and some for that. But the fellow who took him and who went with him thought that the company, you know, would pay for that, but they didn't. It all had to come out. So at the time he paid for the hotel room and
everything, he didn't
and the train tickets for 2 people, he didn't have anything left. So I'm sure he had many reasons to think it wasn't a good deal.
I tell you also, I think, Steve, as you get older, there's so much technicality out there anymore, and you know, if you're trying to perform and do something, there's so much you don't know. I think you're afraid. You can be afraid that you're going to be taken advantage of when there may not be anything to be taken advantage of. You know, you just don't know what's
There was one
out
other
there.
thing that I ran across last night that's interesting. He said he was in Cyersville once and said somebody said, maybe it was reported to him, there's Buell Kazee. He'll never have to work another day in his life with all those records. You know, imagining that he had gotten rich off of these when actually he'd been paid $40.
People have such a wide range of ideas about all that. You're right about the technology. And there's a fellow in Ashland whose dad was a fantastic fiddle player, and they have some home recordings. And he has shared with a few individuals, but he's very worried because he's been to the movies, and he's heard some fiddle music in the movie soundtrack, and he thought, well, somebody's going to grab my dad's old fiddle tunes and make $1 million. But it's kind of skewed a little bit. I think it's a little bit too much worry.
John Sawyer felt this way, and his boys had been very protective of his music. They did deposit it at Berea, and we're going to do a tape, but we tried to be very protective and not let individuals have this music until it's out there for everybody. That's sort of what the family wanted to do. But there was a feeling that somehow somebody would make money.
Somebody's going to make a big dollar off something, I know, and they worry, don't know how to protect that.
And people have been ripped off one way or another.
If you go to a big festival and you're surrounded by people who play banjo or fiddle or something, it looks like everybody in the world does that. But in a larger scheme of things, I mean, Nashville, you know, they have their brand of music, but this kind of stuff they sort of care less about. You know?
You did have a few people like Ralph Peer copywriting it and making some money out of it, I guess.
Well, I'm this way even about Dad's book. If I can find a printer who will print it in whatever the royalty is, my ambition is to get it printed in order to help people. I mean, you know, I know it'd be nice if you had, but I don't believe anybody's going to take it up. So some publisher might publish it and do it for themselves, you know, whatever little royalty they get, because they own, you know, some of those things are, at least that's the way I feel. But I don't know, for some reason he was a little more sensitive about that.
Trembling she
wonderful old song.
Yeah, that is a pretty song.
Yeah.
Grounds that they, you know, are purveyors of the material rather than
Right.
performers as such. But it's nice to hear somebody sing who does have a good voice.
Well, I appreciate your encouragement, and I, take that spirit what you said. You know, as you do know, that's something that bothered Dad. I don't know whether he ever said much about it or not, but he would tell me, he would say, when somebody would compliment him, or if we were coming home or something, he'd say, Philip, I appreciate that. But he said, he said, up on Mash Fork, he said, I guess just most of the people could sing, because he said, he worried often about Loyal, as you know, again, I keep repeating that, but he was afraid, as you were saying, the purveyor of music, that the rougher it was, the more traditional it was, and he said, but that wasn't the way it was on Mash Fork. He said, people could sing. He said, my sisters and the women and men I heard were not, they sang well. I mean, that's what he was saying. He said, they may not have trained voice, but he kind of, he just disliked the idea that to be mountain people, you had to be totally ignorant and couldn't sing anything or know anything.
I used to have a little trouble with Bradley, with some of the people we invited, because Bradley had a high standard. He had a good voice, and he would say, well, I don't know why you would invite her to come back here.
Well, the other side of that is that that's just traditional, as somebody who might have had a better voice and been a little more refined. And you cannot divorce that. After all, not everybody had a great voice, and yet they sang those songs and has had as much meaning and purpose in life as...
And they had just as much right to sing.
You're exactly right.
As a matter of fact, I've just been writing something having to do with that, where both Jeff Titan's brother Shirkby over in Virginia at an independent Baptist church, and one of the old regular Baptists, I.D. Back, said, well, some people can't sing, but I always encourage them to sing, even though it didn't help the total effect of the singing, it was important to them, and therefore they were encouraged to sing.
And they surely ought to be. And I've heard some of the women up there on Mash Fork when I was a boy, they wouldn't be considered having a voice. But whether they were trying to or not, interpreted the song. They bring tears to your eyes and your heart, because it was a heart matter. And I heard a man say not long ago, and I liked it. He said, God is everything. But he said, I want to tell you one thing, God is not. He's not a music critic.
Well,
and he said, sing.
The most, that's right, that's great, because I heard a sermon once that offended me no end, where the fellow preached that only the best is good enough for God, and what he was doing was preaching an elitism in all kinds of the arts, and music and everything else, and I thought, well, what about the field hands singing? That's ridiculous.
That's going up the wrong way. When the Indians make a blanket, and I have looked at them, they make a place of imperfection in it. I mean, they pointedly make it. Because when you look at an Indian blanket, you say, well, here's a little, they say, only the gods are perfect.
Yeah. Well, that makes some sense, I think. And in a way, that fits the old Calvinist theory about things, too. That's important.
No question about that.
Well, that's nice. Well, let's go get something to eat.
Just one quick last thing. Was this music associated with a sort of a rough element in community sometimes, and did that cause a problem? Was there a conflict between this kind of music and the church, or only sometimes?
By my time it was, and I think with Dad's day it often was. I've heard him tell this every place he went, that if a man was going up the road with a banjo and a dog following, hound dog following him, if he wasn't doing something he was fixing to, and so it did carry that element. But he said that mainly they sang and used this so much, Steve, in dances, dance tune, and when the church began to grow away, because his sisters danced, evidently, that's what she'd say, the boys would all come, and he said that, but evidently there came that time when the dance became more modernistic and it started to move away, and then I think he also shares often that not until he got to college did he begin to realize that these songs were Elizabethan and had some integrity about them, and he probably, he may not appreciate me saying this, but he probably went through an area with an educational background that his parents and a lot of the people up the holler didn't have, and began to divorce himself from this type of music, and evidently he had to gain again the appreciation for it. I think that's what happened, don't you, Lloyd? When you hear him talk and so on.
He had left his banjo at home when he went to Georgetown, and then found in English literature classes that there was some connection here.
Yeah, and and I can see that young fellow trying to better himself and move ahead in the world, and kind of got past your roots there a little bit, and then discovered, well, they weren't so bad after all. And it probably happens to all of us to some degree.
He mentioned one time that in one of the interviews I did that they would have bean stringers, one thing or another, and that his mother didn't like the dancing. She let him do it a time or two, and then she got criticized for it, and then she clamped down on it. And he said there's a reason for that, that sometimes, drinking at dances and making music, it wasn't the place, I believe he said, you'd want your daughter to go to.
Right.
So there were real reasons. A lot of people now, sort of people say, well, those people are just blue noses and conservative and didn't appreciate something, but they had a good reason not to want people to go to certain dances, because people got killed at those things.
Oh yeah.
Drinking.
I know of cases, Patrick's we were talking about, and and also evidently my grandfather drank, and Dad would tell us, whom I never knew, he died of high blood pressure. My grandmother died of lockjaw, of tetanus, and but he said that like on Saturday night, gather around and with Frank Kazee, and they would drink, and my grandmother would pull them all in the house, and they'd sober up over Saturday night, get up and go home, so there was that element. I'll tell you how little stories get shipped. I don't know whether this is very important or not, you want me, but I remember my grandfather was converted, Dad told me, Frank Kazee, and I understood him to tell me one time, and I wonder if he was away and didn't understand that after he was converted, he didn't drink anymore. Well, I shared that a time or two with different congregations, and I said, I know it's a sickness and need, but I said, well, there is something, though, when man meets Christ. Well, of course, now Dad's gone, so I can't come back and discuss it with him, but I went up and visited my cousin, and in the old minutes of the Mash Fork Baptist Church, he was turned out 3 times after that for drinking.
Well, now, your grandfather was turned out of the church, wasn't he?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, you're talking about your grandfather.
I'm talking about my grandfather.
Oh, I'm sorry. And yet he came back and led the singing, according to your father.
Well, it's in there. He repents. He repents and comes back, and they let him back in. But that happened 3 times.
Yeah, my grandfather was churched and would never go back.
Yeah.
He was so outraged over being churched. I'm told that he wouldn't go to his own wife's funeral because it was in that church. And I don't know whether that's true.
Oh.
And of course, he's buried there with her in the yard. But he got into a fight over politics with one of his son-in-laws, who was a rabid Republican.
In the early minutes even of the First Baptist Church of Oneida, they're turned out for drinking, but there's a couple in there for gossiping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
People don't
Works
realize
for
that
them.
these early churches served more like a court of law
Well, they
and
really did.
setting the tone of the community.
moral tone of the community,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
While,
couldn't-
while they may have been somewhat fanatical, we probably had maybe a higher level of morality overall back then.
There's a primitive Baptist church over here I have the minutes of that turned 2 or 3 people out for having Southern sympathies during the Civil War. They
see.
didn't appreciate their defense of slavery.
Yeah,
So there was a great deal of principle there, you know, of saying you can't do these things and be a member of our church.
are we on?
I guess we're just about ready.
I was born in East Virginia, North Carolina, I did go, and there I met a fair young maiden. What was her name? I did not know. Her hair it was of a light brown color. Her cheeks they were of a rosy red, and on her breast she wore white velvet, where I longed to lay my head. Her papa said, "Frank, we might marry." Her mama said it would not do. So come here, dear, and I will tell you. Oh, I'll tell you just what we'll do. On some dark night we'll take a ramble, and I will run away with you. I'd rather be in some dark harbor where the sun refused to shine, and to know that you'd be some other man's woman, and to know that you would never be mine.
That's nice. Now, you're in that minor now that you were talking about, aren't you?
Sir,
Are you in the minor you
I
were
mean, that
talking
matter now, yeah. And that is just raising that
raising the second
second
string.
string up one note.
And the
This-
fifth string's lowered to
No,
C.
the string stays the same.
As in a G?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I don't mean fifth, I mean the fourth string.
All the strings are the same,
Yeah.
except that one.
She went upstairs to make her bed, and not one word to her mother said. Her mother, she went upstairs too. Says, darling, dear darling, what troubles you? Oh, mother dear, I cannot tell that butcher's boy I love so well. He courted me my life away, and now at home he will not stay. There is a place in London town where that butcher boy he goes and sits down. He puts that strange girl on his knee, and he tells her things that he won't tell me. Her father, he came in from work, inquiring for his daughter, she seemed so blue. He went upstairs and the door he broke, and found her hanging on the road. He took his knife and cut her down, and in her bosom these words he found. Oh, dig my grave, both wide and deep. Place a marble slab at my head and feet, and on my coffin place a snow white dove to warm this world I die for love.
Butcher boy.
You look a lot like your father now.
Getting a little fatter.
Well, you get a little grayer. and-
Yeah, a little less too. Loyal, when we were there once, together, there was another man, and he's an excellent singer. Matter of fact, I think he'd won some awards, and I should be able to call his name if I could, but he sang The Butcher's Boy too. And when he sang it, as you could tell, these are 2-line stanzas, but he sang a 4-line stanza. And I remember Dad telling me, he said, Dad is probably the way it really was. He said, this is what I learned. And he said, what you've learned. But he said, he was, I remember somebody said he had won some voice awards someplace and all, and he played, but he sang The Butcher's Boy, but it was tune was just a little different, but it was, whereas I'm singing this, kind of a 2-line stanza, he was singing 4-line.
I guess we could maybe run that down, Steve.
And I was just kind of saying that for your, and Dad said, that's probably the way that ought to be. He said, I was going to sing the Cowboys, because we talked about it 2 or 3 times. As Dad says, well, there's a Cowboys Farewell, but this is called the Cowboys Trail. No, it's Cowboys Trail. What's the other one? Dad says it's mixture of what you and I were talking about, Steve.
The Girl I Left
Behind.
Behind.
Yeah, he says it's bound to be. What I'm going to need to do one of these days is get a content.
An index page?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Steve.
Well, if you got a computer up in the office,
Yeah.
in the church, you could, type them all in and alphabetize them and then put the correct pages in.
Yeah, that's what I need to do. I'll sure get this run off, because there are some, Round County Crew. Did he?
Can you
did
sing
he
that?
Play that? No, I was trying to pick the tune out, and I just don't. But I haven't got it down right. Now I heard that a lot as a boy, but never played it as an adult. And I saw the words in here the other day, and I was trying to pick it out, but I'd be afraid to. I don't have it right.
Right.
And I'd like to have Lonesome John. I'd like to have the Round County Crew, and there's 2 or 3 others that. And I'm going to try to find one of those Patricks in Moorhead. I think they can probably do that for me.
The Round County
Crew, yeah. There's Martin and Tolliver feud there.
But you heard that a lot when you were
Yeah, I heard that, and I not only heard the song, I heard stories. Now that's one thing I'd hear stories about. I mean, I'd hear, whether it's true or not, I don't know. You'd hear people talking about the Martin and Tolliver feud. And one of the fellows was telling me one day, and I was just a boy, that's why it was such an impact on my mind. He said that one of the groups, and I forgot which, had a cannon out there, and a train would pull in. Just see an old railroad train pull in. Somebody got on there they didn't like, they just blow up the engine. That kind of stuff. So you know where those apocalyptic stories that come out of there, or what?
Did your dad sing Round County Crew?
Yeah.
But you never knew where he got that.
Yeah, right. And it's long. I mean, I'll share it with you, man. It's.
The reason I'm so interested, this man I was talking about a while back, Gilson Setters, he's credited with having composed that ballad.
Oh, I see.
And he's the one who was supposed to have been born on Christie Creek.
Okay.
But he would have been born about 1861.
Okay.
So he would have been in his 20s at the time that feud took place.
Yeah.
And so I'm always interested
Sure.
on versions of that.
Do you have a copy of the words?
Yeah, and
Okay.
probably can come up with a tune for you also. I don't know if it'll be the same one that you're...
Well, this is Song Loyal. It's where you just drop the 5th string. Roving Cowboy. good banjo tuner never gets it tuned like he wants it. That's the truth. He said you can tune for an hour. He used to tell that old story about how they warmed up, you know.
How's
You
that?
remember that? He said most banjo, I mean, he said, you know, it takes a while to get warmed up and get used to it. And he said most of my friends said they had a way of warming up a little quicker. They would go off stage, you know, and a little snort and come back on. And he said pretty soon they'd be warm. Then he'd always say, but being a Baptist preacher, I always worked under a handicap.
That's good. I remember that now.
Oh,
with you, though. I think that's one of the most beautiful melodies, though. And
That's
yeah.
just, you know, that one catches me, and Bill Jones. I'd ask him to sing that one 1,000. He'd get tired of me asking him to sing that one, you know.
I never did hear the first part of that before about the cowboy part. I heard the.
That's right. The last stanzas are more given to the girl I left behind, aren't they? But those first two.
But now the girl I left on Big Sandy, that you just sang is what he called a roving cowboy.
That's right. This is called the Roving Cowboy, and that's the way he recorded it. I don't know whether he sang all those verses or not. He had to leave out an awful lot of verses in his recording. And I'm really playing this one even faster. You know, when you have a lot of verses, even for something like this, you get afraid that everybody's going to get tired after a while, but probably. There's a tendency to hurry, that's what I mean, you know, and you get, but that's really about the pathos. I think it ought to be sung. Come, all ye roving cowboys, bow down your souls, my land. But if you've got so many verses, try to get them in. It's a tendency to hurry.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else?
We haven't heard the Lady Gay today, I don't think, have we?
Well, no, maybe.
Well, since it's coming on Christmas time, could you play that?
Okay, sure. Now, he played it right here.
And what tuning did he use for that?
Okay, on his record, I think he played right here, Lowell, dropping that fifth string.
Fifth string.
Just same place where I am now. He played.
And leaving the other side.
Okay, now. Where I learned it actually was in this minor.
Yeah. That's a higher key.
Now, where I play it though today, after fooling with him, I mean, you know, he got to playing it this other way.
Leaving with this thing up.
And lowering, okay, the fifth string's one way. This minor string, bringing this second string up, was the second way I was showing you.
Yeah.
Now this is the third way, just keeping it in G and playing those two strings there. What key this is, I have no idea.
Well, I guess it's probably E minor.
Something like that. There was a lady and the lady came. Of children she
one that I've not heard very many people play. I have down on our list here of things, it's a faded coat of blue. Did you ever learn that one? Or?
Well, banjo, it's hard. Now that's another one that was a guitar, and let's see, it had another instrument in it. A whole lot of fiddle in it, but a soft. Coat of blue, and then I think Carson Robinson whistled in it some. You know, he whistled in some of those, but.
You're talking about on the original record.
Yeah. But
The steel going down, is that
okay.
banjo piece or?
Well, again, now I used to play it like this, Steve. I mean, I won't try to play it and sing it, but I'll show you what I'm doing. Right there. I was playing it like that, but that's not the proper timing. And the timing's 3/4, and it's hard to play on the banjo. The timing is boom, 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 boom. It's not straight. I say I'm playing it straight. Still going down, but the song really, and my dad would correct me all the time. Said, you can't do it that way. You know, Lord knows my dad. He knows that. You'd have to go.
Yeah, that's too hard.
Just not that. So
Yeah.
Did he play it on the banjo, or he did it on a guitar?
It was on a guitar.
Yeah.
Well, now, he did record that, I believe, on the record on the banjo, didn't he? But he may have strummed
He
it.
may have strummed it like this.
Yeah.
You may be correct. And then he's doing it just like that, what he called fancy picking.
That's a nice song. I've never heard that anywhere else. I don't know what.
I guess we better let Phil go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all right, but
We need
You need
to
to
head
head
back anyhow. I sure do appreciate it.
hey,
No, man.
thanks for the dinner and thanks for coming. I mean, I'm going to put it this way. I'm honored, and no, I mean that. And
We appreciate it.
anytime that you do something like that, you wish you were an accomplished musician in it. But
Well, he passes pretty well since
not
we
all,
can't find one, doesn't
not all of them were. So
Well,
Hey, I would. It would mean a lot to me to be able to sit and hear you play in the evenings. You know, just if I was a member of your family, I would appreciate it an awful lot.
I appreciate that. You know, even as you play, I mean, I know when I miss notes and somebody says, well, you know, it doesn't really matter, but it matters too if you're playing and you being a player, you know, sometimes you're playing by yourself and you play flawlessly.
Yeah,
You
and
wish.
say, why can't I do this when
Yeah,
people
that's
are
right.
around?
You know, and even there now, you know, 2 or 3 songs, I realize I can get off and so on. But there's just a little bit of something knowing you're under that camera in spite of all. You know, and if you're a performer, and I guess that's why some people are performers and others of us are not, you know.
What discourages me is that it's not even a case of sometimes anymore. It seems to be every time I get in front of people now. I play, you know, much worse than I do at home. And so it's getting, I played for, you know, a dance that they have in Berea once
Yeah.
a month, and that's about it. But and I'm trying to get a little more used to that.
Well, you know, Steve, what happens to me is while I'm playing alone, and as you say, I guess you're just relaxed and comfortable and you play well and you're not trying to hurry and everything,
Right.
so you're sitting. Well, at those times I think, well, yeah, I would like to play